Access Radio, the future of radio and podcast. No limit to what we do.
Access Radio, WIAX, the future of radio and podcast. No limit to what we do.
Back.
Good day, man.
Yes,
good
people.
Good to be back, man.
Yes. Thanks for tuning in. To the left of me, I got Big Vern. To the right of me, I got Manny.
Thanks for tuning in.
Yes. And always rocking on the boards. We got the one and only Big Al. I am here, A.PODMAN. Welcome back to New World Old Views. So, listen, fellas. I'm sure y'all had a great week. Y'all look lively. Y'all look like y'all in good spirits. Let's get to it. You were just talking about something that you heard in regards to Joe Biden, your arch nemesis of the world.
I mean, he should be everybody's arch nemesis of the world, in all honesty.
Well, we can't get into that. Some people just aren't in the know. So, but tell us some of this new information that you.
It's very interesting. Just the United Nations they voted on the 15-member council. They voted 13-1 to end the war, to cease the support for the war in Gaza, like pretty much asking the United States to cease funding and to Israel and pretty much supporting the war. 13 countries voted 13-1 in ceasing it. America is the only country that said no. And Great Britain refused to vote. I guess it was such a nonsense to them. They didn't even want to acknowledge it, Great Britain.
Okay.
But America said no. Now, it was interesting.
Good morning, Papa Vern. Good morning. Good afternoon, Papa Vern. Thanks for tuning in. We always appreciate you, man. Thanks a lot.
And Yeah. So the Biden administration is pretty much going to continue. They just ignored, like I said, a United Nations vote, which is very interesting because 9 times out of 10 with foreign policy, United Nations usually and America always on the same page. They most of the time agree with each other. So this is kind of interesting to see them in such strong numbers as far as the 13-1 vote that they had, in which they would like America to stop supporting and cease fire over there. And America's against that. But what's interesting, and when you look at the numbers over there, of all the casualties in Gaza, 70% is women and children. 70% is women and children of all the casualties that have died in Gaza.
That's
50% of the population of Gaza is children. No, that's not usually, but
good afternoon, Miss Sarah. Thank you for tuning in as always. We appreciate
how you doing, sis? Thank you, appreciate you. But what I'm saying is,
usually, I mean, I understand, of course.
There's always
that's the easiest casualties.
There's always
of
casualties.
War. But what I'm saying is that you usually try to say no women, no children. For the most part,
the thing is, a majority of Gaza's population is children, and a big population is actually children. It's
so my thing is, if we're trying to get neutralize Hamas, why are we continuously dropping bombs? We didn't kill, like I said, almost now 3 times more civilians than Hamas terrorists. Okay. So what is Israel doing? What are we supporting? Why are we sending all these hundreds of billions of dollars for what? Because now we know it's just women and children that's being affected now. It's not even about the terrorists no more now. Now innocent kids and women are dying now. 3 times more of them than it has been Hamas terrorists. But we're told that all of this is about neutralizing Hamas.
Well, it's a game of politics and reality.
No, but this is past politics now. Because politics works when it's a balance. You know, there's a little bit of this and there's a little bit of that. With this, it's one-sided. Well, it's about Hamas, but yet they're not being affected really. It's casual, it's innocent civilians that's suffering. And we're continuing to just fund them just for no reason.
Well, and usually in politics, yes, there is a form of checks and balances, but that's all dependent on the playing field that they're playing on. You understand what I'm saying in regards to why they're attempting to not cease the.
Well, I mean, it's all part of the agenda.
That's what I'm saying.
What I find interesting about this too is usually like we understand that both parties kind of operate under the same elite system, but at least when it comes to a lot of the agenda pushing, a lot of times we'll see that on the Democrat side. But what's interesting about this topic is that even Democrats are kind of calling out Israel and saying like this is genocide,
right?
And which is something surprising. I thought more Democrats would actually have backed Israel, but it's actually not the case. America is really the only nation who's like not calling for a ceasefire. Mm-hmm. Which is crazy, and even now, like if you kind of look at what's going on, kind of in the entertainment sector now, if celebrities who have openly criticized what Israel is doing have been reprimanded for that, and it's being called anti-Semitism. You know, there was an actress that she called out what Israel was doing as genocide. She got fired from a movie she was supposed to be cast in. So it's crazy how much America is pushing the Israel side, whereas it seems like almost universally the rest of the world is like, what's going on is not right. Mm-hmm. So it's clearly the president has his own gain with this situation.
This is what I mean when I say what is he doing? What are we doing? And then Biden just threatened Congress pretty much, because he wants Congress to pass legislation allowing him to give out another $106 billion to the Ukraine. Republican states are saying, no, we're not. You know, a lot of Republicans say, no, you need to fix the border first. Mm-hmm. We're not going to provide and support any aid being given until you rectify this border issue. This border issue is out of control. In regards to the migrants coming in and stuff like that, he's like, you have to get this under control. There's a lot of terror. They said even if 1% of the migrants, the amount of migrants that comes in, if it was terrorists, 1% would calculate for about 80,000. But if you look at let's think about having 80,000 terrorists come into the country unannounced, undocumented.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Certain infrastructures that upkeep America could be attacked.
Yes.
Things of that nature. So pretty much the Republican states are saying you need to fix this border issue or we're not doing anything. Biden is saying if you don't agree in this aid being sent over there, I'm going to deploy the American troops over to the Ukraine. Because as the president, he's in charge of the executive branch.
Mm-hmm.
So he has that power to do that. But my thing is, for what? What's the reason? Why?
Mm-hmm.
While America is suffering, while we got inflation is through the roof, interest rates is through the roof, housing, the housing industry prices is through the roof,
absolutely,
gas is through the roof, unemployment is through the roof. The migrant situation is ridiculous. You know, certain cities, certain services is being suspended. Because they can't afford to keep it up because they trying to accommodate
people,
in
certain cities.
Yeah, New York City looks crazy right now.
New York City looks ridiculous.
It does.
Ridiculous. I'm surprised like certain subways and stuff like that aren't even looking more packed and more.
I know they said in Queens, like
crowded.
The migrant women have created like a red light district where it's just like open prostitution.
Yeah,
and like. Yeah. Nothing's really being done about it, like because they don't have no other form of work.
And the police, they just put it was a budget, a cut off freeze on cops and firemen, so there's going to be a shortage on that in New York City because Mayor Adams said we can't.
Yeah, there's been budget cuts. Yeah.
Budget cuts, we can't afford it, and they said over the next 2 years it's going to cost them New York $14 billion. So where that money coming from? If we ain't getting no federal aid, what's going to happen?
If it were that simple,
I mean, come on, like it's not,
Yeah, it's not. However,
it ain't rocket science to see what's going on. Like this, come on, man.
Because what you said in regards to the migrant crisis, like I said, I just read up Mayor Adams. I think he was in D.C. for a holiday party, and he went to speak with Biden or some of the officials, and they didn't reach a positive understanding in regards to him receiving more aid for New York City in order to do something in regards to this migrant crisis. Because obviously you need funding, you need something in order to create more spaces, more lodging for these migrants.
Now what's so interesting is America, while we're over here facing all these dire issues, like America is actually not being attacked by anybody. There's no reason to really deploy the United States military anywhere. Mm-hmm. There's no reason to do that, to deploy the United States military anywhere. But while we're over here suffering, Joe Biden is threatening to send United States troops over to the Ukraine because Congress won't approve $100 billion being sent over there.
Well, how do you feel about that, Manny? Let's talk about it.
I mean, to some degree, I would say that that's grounds for impeachment, but I would feel like a lot of people wouldn't even agree with that. People, everybody wanted Trump to be impeached, but I've never heard Trump threaten to send his own Americans to die if he didn't get funding for another country. That's what I'm saying. That's wild.
We had to blame ourselves for the people who did vote.
Well,
that was one of the first things they wanted. They wanted somebody that wasn't Trump in the office, and you heard what Biden said. He said if you're black or something like that,
if you don't vote for me, you ain't black.
Right, or something of that nature. And it just is what it is. I mean, when it comes to the nature of politics, it's always a dicey game. So they want to show support to look like a form of a hero, I'm guessing. In that form. The rest of I think you said the rest of the United Nations, they voted. It was 13 countries out of the 15
to 1 voted against.
Yeah, and the other one just said, "Listen, We
Great
got
Britain,
nothing.
Great Britain didn't want nothing to
We
do
don't.
with it.
Yeah,
They
we
didn't want
don't.
to vote.
I guess we don't care that much or
No,
whatever
because
of that nature.
Great Britain was in alliance with Israel and America, so they're not going to even bother.
Well,
But it's all the other nations that was like, yo, this needs to be ended.
yeah, there's nothing more that could come from this.
But it's crazy though. Funding, billions is being continued to be sent out to them while America is suffering.
Yeah.
Well, we could use that
got
aid.
tons of homelessness. We got tons of issues, like you said, dire issues. But that's what makes.
So, but I asked, like, I was talking to a friend of mine because he's a big time Biden supporter at the time, and I'm talking to him, and I'm like, objectively looking around, you gonna tell me America is better than it was before 2021, before this man took office?
And what was his response to that?
His response was, Biden is better. Biden is better than Trump. Biden is better than Trump on his worst day. And I'm like, you're being in your feelings though. I need something tangible. Let's talk facts. Give me something where we can see and touch.
Well, most people, when it comes to politics, most people are feelings. Let's be honest. When it comes to politics, mostly religion, stuff like that, it's based upon more of the,
people rarely argue over like legit policies. It's most of the time it's just ideology.
Right. It's more of what you want.
But that's scary though. To be that blind and be that naive, because that's what, like, it's clear as day that Joe Biden is not fit to be in office at all. He was never fit to be there to begin with.
I mean, if you argue that, how many people are? The people are going to be fit.
No, it's not about the people. It's about the numbers. It's about the numbers. Running the country, and statistically, the numbers show that Biden is a far worse president than Trump is. That's what I'm saying.
No. When it comes to the numbers that only matter are the higher ups, the ones the minimal numbers that are in control. That's what matters the most in regards to the political game and stuff like that, as far as they're concerned. Anyway.
What do you mean numbers that are in
control? Of course, the bottom feeders are gonna maybe disagree with the issues that they can tangibly feel firsthand and see firsthand. But I'm talking about from
I'm talking about overall,
right,
the whole country overall of comparing two presidencies. Statistically, you can compare different industries.
Mm-hmm.
In different categories within the country under two different presidencies, and look at which ones did better.
Absolutely,
which one was more successful. That's what I'm saying.
Without a doubt.
So when it comes to Trump and Biden, the distinction is clear.
Right, but that's a different that's a difficult argument and distinction, because Trump was a much thanks, sis. You know what I mean? But Trump was a much better president. Biden supporters are delusional. Correct. Well, what I'm saying is Trump, he was always a businessman. So like you said, he ran the country as a business, which it is.
It is.
Which it is. We won't deny that. If you're speaking to a regular common person that's just a voter, they're not necessarily looking at that as a business.
Wait, but what I'm saying is no. It's ran on a global scale is looked upon as a business, but those people that live within it, of course, I don't expect them to look at it from that perspective. But what I'm just saying, I still expect them to recognize facts and numbers in front of you.
The facts are their feelings.
What do we say? No, but what do we say this podcast is based on?
Right.
Research, facts, data, and statistics, cause and effect.
Yeah,
so that's what I'm saying.
Who you telling?
So that's what I'm saying. So if you got to be able to if we can't recognize that.
No.
On building on that foundation, then you can't even. That's the person I can't even engage with.
And that's what you got to know.
Yeah, but then that's who you're dealing with. Of course, but we're not disputing that.
Listen, this is what I'll tell. I always tell you, if you're ignorant, I'm willing to deal with that. If you're being stupid, or you know how some people classify it as willful ignorance, if you're doing that, like you said, we have nothing to discuss. That's why I tell you most of the time, I don't really engage in politics too much, because I'm not well versed in it. Like, if you give me information on something right here, we'll talk about it. Just like when we talked about the migrant crisis, he didn't receive much aid, stuff like that. But like the full policies and stuff like that, if I'm unaware, There's
See,
nothing more I can say about that.
With me, I when it comes to politics, I don't really look at it from emotion or how I feel or ideology or what person I like. I look at things from a pragmatic type of perspective.
What
right?
is? It is or it isn't.
I go by, if I'm supporting a candidate, it's specifically why do you support him, Gerard? Because of this, and this. He does this, and this helps this. He said he was going to do this, and he did, and this lowered this. Look at this. Right. I don't just run with you because like a celebrity.
Well, I want this person out the office. Yeah. So let's put this person in because they've got to be better because this person was so horrible. But you listen. Yeah. Because I dislike Biden. I can't stand him, but I'll give him. He did something that other presidents didn't do. But he gave. They say he relieved almost a couple $100 million in student loan debt and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But when you look at the amount of people that, which was weird, they said he approved 1.6 billion in student loan debt. Excuse me. And that 1.6 billion came out to affect 80,000 people. I said 80,000 people accumulated 1.6 billion worth of student loan debt. You didn't expect something like that?
I could see that. Yeah.
You didn't expect something like that? People that go to law school,
80,000 in a but you know how big the population of America is?
Oh, absolutely. But I'm saying,
there's
how many people did you think that was going to help?
No, I didn't. I thought it would have helped more than that. 80,000. That's not even a dent.
Trillion.
No, that's
really help.
A million people's debt. Yeah, you're gonna hit a trillion. You're gonna hit.
That's God. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. That's crazy.
Do you know how many doctors, lawyers, and stuff like that?
That's when you
even for bachelor's degree, most people be a couple 100,000 in debt.
That's crazy. But when you look at 80,000 in comparison to the actual population, if you just look at like college age population in America and compare that to 80,000, that's like less than 1%.
That's the point. They think they're gonna give up that much.
Yeah.
You think that they can?
That's nuts. So my whole point is saying that even that I would even give a pass for, still in its significance is not. It's still not really doesn't weigh that much in comparison to all of the damage that he's done.
Verge, this is what you got to look at, right? We got to look at it per capita. So on average, right, the average student that does 4 years of college at a reputable college, they're going to spend at least $120,000 in that 4 years. Yeah. Then we got to look at those who go on to do masters and PhDs. Mm-hmm. They go from 120,000 to about 300,000. Okay, and student loans and debts and things of that nature. So before they're even able to settle down and get a decent job, they're in a hole over $250,000. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then you look at those numbers, multiply them by the 80. How many was it?
80,000.
80,000. Mm-hmm. Believe me, you're gonna be up there.
Yeah.
That's why I was saying that didn't shock me. Yeah.
I guess that's why so many
people didn't. And the reason why I say that because I know my son went to a all-black college, and it cost me $135,000 for that 4 years.
Yeah, and that's why. Yes, and that's why so many people didn't fit the criteria of getting the forgiveness. Mm-hmm. Like they're not. Come on,
but
man.
even the best thing that he did still cannot outweigh all of the other
atrocities
man.
Hey man,
it's like I said, the condition of America right now. I've never seen this in my 37 years of being on this earth. I have never ever seen the stuff that this doesn't make any sense.
Understood. Speaking of conditions and state of being, something that's been a huge story for at least 2 weeks now. It's Sean P. Diddy Combs. Brother Love. That's a very tough subject to tackle. But there have been quite a few reports in regards to accusations of certain treatment that he's done in regards to women and alleged men and certain parties labeled as freak-off parties and stuff like that. And one of his former artists, Cassie, better known as Cassandra Ventura, she came forward, and she had a civil case against him that was settled
Within a day.
within a day. And I just wanted to get some of y'all's perspectives in regards to this, because I remember I sent Vern um, uh, um, a report that Paula J. Parker, she had stated, like, why all of a sudden now, and you still had the power to say no. So I just wanted to get your thoughts in regards to this situation where he's facing so much backlash, and now there are more accusations coming out of different places. What do y'all think of this?
Listen, man, when you up in that space, it gets weird. We all know that. When you get up in that space on that type of level and all that, it gets weird. It gets weird. That's how they get down.
It ain't like it ain't nothing surprising. If people who've had a lot of Diddy stories for years, both the women and men.
Men, yeah, exactly. So, it ain't.
So,
When you get up in that space, that's how the industry is. That's how Hollywood is.
correct.
That's when you up in that.
Is this cause for civil cases to come about, or do you think what's been being reported? Once he had issues with that liquor company, you know how that goes when they have the power now to assassinate your character, to do anything damaging, to make sure that you don't look legitimate in regards to coming after us. Do you think that that's more what spawned this whole situation and all these accusations?
I mean, while I do believe that there are character assassinations out there. For example, I think that's what's going on with Jonathan Majors right now, but we'll that's another topic. But in a sense of Diddy, I mean, like I said, there have been allegations again. I think this is the first time that's just been brought like legally, like in an actual charge or actual suit. But there have been people who've said he's done horrible things for years. So I mean, honestly, as I said, when I saw the report come out, it was just like it wasn't surprising. It was like I guess she just decided now is when she wanted to pursue this. But I didn't for him in particular. I didn't find it surprising.
Yeah, because I think they had an act in which they had instilled, and it was about to expire or something like that, along the lines of being able to take actions.
Oh,
And
it was New York State. It was like
right,
the adult victims,
right, or something
act,
of that nature.
yeah.
Yes, and it was going to expire. I think
The deadline
late
was
November, or
the deadline
like a
I think
little
was
after Thanksgiving or something like that.
yeah, like early December or something.
So
like that,
yeah, but all right. So I get what both of you were saying. So now, if you said, like you said, it's weird. There's weird activity. However, if you know how somebody gets down, so like that, do civil like should these civil charges be able to take place against him, although you were willingly taking a part of it in this manner? Because if you didn't like it, or if you saw something or whatever, you have the right to say, hey, he's a piece of excrement, or like, I don't like his practices. But was what he did, does it warrant a civil case if you played along with it, if you went along with it? You understand what I'm saying? If you were compliant in it, if you were complicit in it.
I guess it depends. Was it coercion? Was it
I was just about to
blackmail?
say it depends on the age with the coercion.
I mean, right. From what they're saying, she was 19 years old. Which in regards to blackmail, when
she had
many
no
people,
parents, no family.
I can't remember that. But let me just say this, though. When many people believe that they don't have an option or they don't have a choice, you always have a choice. You may not like your choice. You're trying to get into the business. You're trying to do your thing. You believe that this person has power and influence. So you may not like the terms. You may not like what may transpire in order for you to get this. But you have a choice, correct?
No, yeah, you do always have a choice.
So we can't. So now we're not going to say we're not going to say, was it technically coercion? All right, power, persuasion, coercion, whatever. You still have the right to say no. And by no means am I against Ms. Cassie. I don't know the full situation in detail. Being that he probably settled out within a day, she probably knew certain stuff.
It depends. It depends on a power dynamic.
Yeah, because sometimes somebody don't even know that they can say no.
What do you mean by that?
Somebody could feel so powerless.
Depending on how you manipulate them. Yeah, I can see that.
Bro, everybody, you got to think. There's a lot of different experiences. I'm not saying that it's
So let me say this.
How many people every day stay in abusive relationships?
And how many people every day that are in that abusive relationship say no to others? So you're right. So you have the power to say no.
Okay, I'm not disputing that.
If that person mind.
But there's some people that can feel trapped, though. I mean, and this is more. This could be more common because
you allowed yourself to be trapped.
It is a power.
It's a context, though.
It's a power dynamic. It's definitely more context.
I told you. Yeah. Most things are based upon control. I told you that. But what I'm saying is that all right, let's put it like this. How many? I don't know.
Yeah, but the power dynamic between a man and a woman is different from a power dynamic amongst men or women and women. So.
Women have a better chance of utilizing power through the mind, as opposed to obviously physicality between a man and a woman. Of course, what I'm saying is that, all right, how many? I don't know how often y'all may have seen this when y'all were in high school or whatever. You might have had a senior woman in high school. Possibly she might have been saying things like, "Oh, I've got a 20-year-old guy that does this or spends this on me and does that or whatever." And there might have been a 17-year-old guy trying to holler at her, trying to talk to her, whatever. Even a 6-year-old. She's probably said no, right?
Yeah.
She might have been manipulated by the money, but she still has the ability to say no.
Well, yeah. And sometimes you can not know you're a victim to something. To a degree. I think sometimes somebody can be unaware if they're a victim to something. To her, if let's say where you send somebody who's 21 and she's 17, whatever the case may be, she's a minor. If he knows how to play on her ignorance, he can make it seem like it's all right. But that's what I'm saying. Sometimes somebody could not know they're a victim in a situation. Okay, so I think that's context in the sense that like what he was saying. And that's why the power dynamic comes into play, because if one person knows how to, like when you take the dynamic of an older person, a younger person, especially when it's an older man and a young woman like that, he knows how to frame it in a certain way. And it's much easier to manipulate her in that way. Where again, you're not aware you're a victim.
It could be done in a way where you have her agreeing to what you're doing is really to benefit you, but she's completely unaware of it.
All right, so
thinking that you're thinking, about her and her best interest. I'm just saying that's not every situation. But there are instances like that's what I said. There's always context.
Of course, there's always. So what I'm saying is let's say I don't know if this is the circumstance. Let's say if she says, "Oh, I don't want to do that," and if he says, "Oh, if you don't want to do that, then, oh well, you could kiss your career goodbye. You won't make any money in this town, whatever." That it sucks. Yeah. It sucks. Yeah. But you're aware of what's going on. He's telling you. Now, if you're in a trance and whatever, then
but I tell you one thing, though, saying that
if you believe that, all right, this is the field I want, and this is what I have to endure to get it. You're aware of what comes along with it. You don't like it. We go to work every day. We may not like certain policies that go along with the job. Are we victims? I mean,
of a capitalistic system, yes. But
all right, but we're also willing participants.
Well, if you choose to be,
that's my point. So therefore,
I'm just saying, you don't think the intellectual capacity would be different between a 19-year-old and a 25-year-old, or a 19-year-old and a 28-year-old?
I'm not disputing that, but what I'm saying is, even as a 19-year-old, you've said no to things that you know that you don't want, and things that you and things that you don't like, and stuff like that.
But you think that same 19-year-old has the same intellectual capacity of a 28-year-old with the experiences? There could be things that 19.
I can't definitively say yes. I can't definitively.
I'm just saying, based off the age, you would think that the older one has more experience.
You would hope so, right? That's what I mean. Because there are 28-year-olds that are in that industry that may deal with it under the same situation.
I'm not disputing that part. I'm just saying
and influence and whatever. Where you didn't like,
but you're expecting them
like that, but you went along with it.
You're expecting them to be more mature and would be able to make a better decision.
You would hope. Some people are stuck at 15 years old for life.
Of course, but when I'm just going by off looking at the age, the disparity in age, you would always expect that a 25 or 28-year-old would know a little bit more than a 19-year-old. Have more of an intellectual capacity. It don't depend, bro. You would expect that.
On average, yeah.
I'm about to say that. Well, what you expect, what you're hoping for is I was about to say it depends on your nurturing, your upbringing, and stuff like that.
I'm just going by based off the age. What we would just expect of average.
So you're saying we just got a 28-year-old
and 19-year-old
sitting there.
Yeah.
So before we speak,
I would expect the 28-year-old to be more well-versed than the 19-year-old.
Yes.
Yeah.
Surely. Absolutely. Absolutely. I thought you were asking for the context part. So if you're going off of no context and just them sitting there, I would hope so. I would hope that you're seeing more things in life than the 19-year-old.
Yeah. So that's why I was saying with the whole thing with the Cassie thing. Of course, I agree with you. There are times you can absolutely say no, but presenting a 19-year-old with a career in front of her and the world at her fingertips, and then say, if you don't do this and that, I'm going to take this away. She may be more inclined to go along with it. Really don't want to, but go along with it because she's young and naive. Whereas if she was 28 or 29. She may say, I'm not doing that. I'll figure this out. I've already had experiences where I've had other outlets of making money and doing what I need to do. I don't got to go this route. I'd rather figure it out. That's what I'm saying. Is that every situation? No, but I'm just saying, just looking at it, that's why, when he could have threatened her with saying, if you don't do this, you're going to lose your whole career. You said that to a 19-year-old, they might give in. They're 19.
Okay,
they ain't been alive two decades.
Fair enough.
Barely.
So at the age of 24, 25, when he still says this, and you're under the impression that you're tired of this, according to certain reports, you're tired of taking these drugs, you're tired of going through this or whatever. If you still don't know that you're a victim, okay, have at it. Whatever. So at the age of 25, you know that you don't want to do it, but you still don't know that you're a victim. Okay. So now I think by the age of 29 or 30, somewhere around that point, I think that's when they might have, parted ways or something of that nature. But what I'm saying is, so let's say you said 25, 27, maybe 28, right? You still stuck around.
Yeah.
Is it because this is the career that you want?
I can say, I don't know, her upbringing, what she was subjected to. She could have had like a real abusive upbringing. I don't know anything about it. That's what I said. Does she have family? Does she have a father in her life? Does she have a mother? Does she have men in her life that love her? Like, was she raised? Did she come from grew up with a family type structure? I don't know that. That's why I asked that question. Does she have family? I don't know these things because if I knew that, then I can answer it better. I can have a better understanding of why she kept herself in that environment of abuse for so long. And again, if she was raised in abuse, then it would make sense.
But now this time y'all are asking for context in regard. But what I'm saying is, if you know that you don't like something and you know how to say no, just assume.
But what if you was raised in abuse and you didn't know how to say no? You grew up and was subjected to abuse. And you always gave in to
a lot of those instances like in that industry. A lot of it is blackmail.
I'm not saying that there are cases for almost anything in this world.
But what I'm saying is, so there's people that could always felt powerless and weak in certain situations,
and a lot of those
women in that type
a lot of those instances in that entertainment industry, a lot of times is blackmail. A lot of times people stay because of threats.
Oh yeah. So of course.
So
then, if that's the case, then yes. Absolutely. But what I'm saying is,
most of them are afraid
if let's say we're speaking of Sean Combs, if he had blackmail, at a certain point, with her going through everything that she went through, I'm sure she had some sort of blackmail as well. Or if not, if she just received, the blackmail now, then maybe that could be the reason why she's coming forward. But what I'm saying is, if you're taking part in all of this, I'm sure you got just as much blackmail. Granted, he probably had more powers to be there to help him. But like I said, now in this situation, from what's being rumored with the liquor company, they have some power. They have the money. They also have influence to say, "Oh, you want to go to war with us? This is what we're going to do."
Did you all see the
So
video?
that's why I'm asking, why are so many people coming out now? Because is it sounding like he forced you? Because I didn't really hear anything really more about a force, to where it could sound like force because you didn't want to do it, but I don't know if he grabbed you up and threw you down, and you know what I mean. Not to sound too
Cassie
too
had
graphic
too much
about it.
evidence. That's why Diddy took care of that in the day. He did not want none of that stuff to come out. He knew it.
Yeah.
That's why he didn't put up a fight or nothing. He took care of that.
Well, that's
ASAP.
close to home. He personally,
And he don't.
No, but what I'm saying now is, with more people coming out, now it's more like, all right, I'm fighting y'all. Like I'm not. You know what I mean?
See, because now he's going to just get them on slander because they don't have no actual evidence. So he's just going to make, he's going to come from a standpoint, these people is throwing, it's slander. I'm suing them. They talking about me. They don't got no evidence, blah, blah, blah. Cassie, that's not the case. I believe Cassie
Maybe that's
had
why
the
she
evidence.
took so long.
And
'Cause
that's
she had
why-
to wait and build the case.
Yeah. And that's
Probably why it took so long.
He did not hesitate.
She probably had a case built
Like
so
I
well, all
said,
he could do was settle it in a day.
Because she was close to home in regards to him. So, like you said,
She
other
knew too
people-
much, and he wasn't.
Right,
He
granted.
was not willing. He did not want that stuff to get her. That's why I said, "Here, that
Right.
30 mil,
right, or whatever it is,
whatever it is."
was
But he paid that quick.
undisclosed. What I'm saying is we agree. She was close to home. She probably had, obviously, first she dealt with him.
Yeah.
Other people that are coming forth now, supposedly you had a 17-year-old at the age in 1991. Supposedly,
Did you see the video with him and
Uptown
Justin
Records,
Bieber?
when he was like 22, maybe? Huh?
Did you see the video with Diddy and Justin Bieber when Justin Bieber was young?
I think I showed it. I think I saw it on one of those YouTube.
Yeah,
things
it was
or something about yeah.
weird. Justin Bieber looked a little uncomfortable in his facial expression. He looked a little uncomfortable.
Now, like you said, are you surprised at the cost of fame?
No. So what I'm just saying
Everybody
is, if I can see a boy be uncomfortable, I can definitely. Then there's no question. A young girl, a 19-year-old girl, could be uncomfortable and go along with it. If this, like I said, there's stories of men talking about how, they was seeing him do stuff, and it was like, yo, bro, I'm out of here. You out your mind. I'm out.
Right. No, that's what I'm saying. Right. However, is it something that is worthy of a civil suit? That's all I'm asking. If you're in there,
if they got it, I mean,
and
you can't be
doing it.
waiting like this. If you said he was 17 in 1991, bro, we in 2023. It's too late to be coming.
Yeah, no, you're right. There was a lady that I think she said she was 17.
Oh, there you go.
And they brought her over, and supposedly they had
Was
sex
Diddy
with
even
her.
relevant in 91?
That's what I'm trying to say.
He wasn't even relevant in 91.
Then there's another one, I think, with Harv Pierre.
I'm not saying that happened.
In 1991, he was an intern for Uptown Records.
Yeah.
So he wasn't
relevant, but I don't know. I don't know if she was,
right,
violated anyway. So I'm not gonna say no. No, I'm not gonna speak on that.
Is this just because some people have come forth now?
It's crazy.
What full evidence? Like what can you bring for? Because you said it was you and it was Diddy and Aaron Hall and stuff like that. Now y'all trying to bring back video information of where Aaron Hall said, yeah, like I like to smash in public. So Diddy, Jodeci, all of them seeing me smash chicks. All right, but were these women against it? You understand what I'm saying? Or now, since things are coming out, now we have a chance. That's how they tried to get Jamie Foxx. You understand what I'm saying? It's like, and by no means am I like, oh, I'm on anyone's side. I don't on no one's side. I want the truth to come out, But I'm not. If this is the practices that come along with it, there are people that said I'm going to do this for
there
that
are
for that
plenty
fame.
of people in the music industry and all that rapists, pedophilia is big time in the music industry and in Hollywood. Okay,
Right.
so
they have them acting in movies where it might be someone that's 17, 18 years old, and well, that's legal age.
That's rampant. You done had numerous people, actors, and come out and speak about when they was child actors. And
that's why a lot of them haven't been the same.
Yeah,
and they don't act anymore. So man, it's a lot that goes on to it, and it takes strong people to be able to walk away from it.
Yeah, that's practiced regularly throughout the industry. That's one of the reasons why I was talking to a friend of mine about the whole R. Kelly thing. I was like, R. Kelly's not in jail because he was with
I think he was trying to buck the system.
Yeah, he's in jail because he was getting his masters. He was just trying to get all his masters and the rights to his music. Because if he got that, he'd be owed a lot of bread just from music that he's written for other people
and not have to
and stuff like that. So the minute he tried to go for his masters, that's when they got him for that other nonsense. Even though it is wrong, that's not why he's in jail. He's not in jail for that. I'm just saying all that to say that it's practice. That all that pedophilia and that
what I'm trying to understand
and all that stuff that's practiced throughout the
what did they
industry.
Put in the new contracts after Prince pulled the move that he did to where other people couldn't just redefine themselves and go with under a different name, a different moniker. Because remember, they said that's why he started calling himself the artist formerly known as in order to that way. Now, if he comes out with something else, it's not under those labels. It's not under that distribution. It's not you don't own the rights to that, or whatever. Or maybe they don't. Maybe they don't have a way of distributing. Maybe he had the AD
will be able to answer that because he knows about.
Yeah, we'll get back to that, but because we'll probably be closing up soon. But let's talk about it, man. Because
let's get to it. Let's get to it.
Because me, I'm not a fan. But I don't go against greatness. I respect greatness at all times. Mm-hmm. You see your brother with the GOAT shirt on. Mm-hmm. You know me, there is no such thing. But let's talk about it because I texted you, I think yesterday, and I said, hey, listen, it's looking a little shaky right now with this in-season tournament.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if the Lakers win it.
Yeah.
And that will be the first in-season tournament championship. Mm-hmm. And one of the main recipients will be LeBron James.
Of course.
So that will be another championship under his belt.
Yeah.
That's a different championship.
Straight nonsense.
But
absolutely.
Papa Vern, if you're still there, I need you to chime in because I don't want you just, going along with it. Please explain the purpose of evolution in any.
That's not evolution.
That is
the evolution. Game has already evolved.
I'll tell you this.
Stop.
When I first heard about it, I was like, "Yo, why do you need to do that?" The game has.
So that's not even evolution. And if you had to say that,
this is more. There's something that keeps evolving.
No.
So this is more evolution.
No. So the game has already. Has been. It's already structured.
Machine. Let me ask
you. Play 82 games, and then you qualify to go into the playoffs to play for a championship. That's it.
Why is there video review now on certain calls? Why is there review of different stuff? Why are there different rules that come into the game? Because sometimes things change, and you need to evolve and make things possibly better.
LeBron James got Adam Silver in his pocket, man.
So you believe that LeBron James created this in-season tournament thing?
I believe that Adam Silver did this for him. So I did this for him. I do believe that because it's a meaningless trophy. I'm sorry.
It's not me.
It's a meaningless. Come on, bro. It's a meaningless trophy. Stop it. The season starts at the end of October, beginning of November. Okay, you have a whole month in of playing to start a season within the second week of December. Well, after teams only been playing for a couple of weeks, teams are still gelling and forming.
Play for something early.
Bro, stop playing for nothing early.
Because when they get to the All-Star game, a lot of them still just be
okay. So what? But that's okay. But guess what? Some teams
this gives you something to play for in the beginning and at the end.
No, that's nonsense. But of course you're gonna say anything because you're a LeBron apologist. Anything that works. Yes, you are.
LeBron apologist.
Yes, you are.
I have no loyalty, no. Come
on,
I have no ties.
It don't make no sense to do that. That was done specifically.
I have no ties.
That was done specifically for LeBron.
You can't prove that.
Come on,
so what happens if Indiana wins?
They're not going to win. The Lakers going to win.
So you can bet your bottom dollar on
the Lakers are going to win, bro.
They're going to
win. I guarantee the Lakers are going to win. The Lakers got more experience than Indiana. Indiana they playing good. The Lakers got more experience. Yeah, but Halliburton ain't going to do nothing. He's not going to do it. Lakers going to beat them. I guarantee you. I guarantee you Lakers going to win.
The point is
Lakers going to win.
There's nothing wrong with playing for something.
Remember I told you the Lakers are going to win. And we're going to come back to this. I'm going to be like, I told you, bro.
I already figured that.
Come on.
You're not telling me.
Stop. All right then. So why you talking about Halliburton like it's going to be an issue if you already know that?
No, I mean, you don't know what definitively will happen. I'm a firm believer that the Lakers will win, though. I'm a firm believer in the Lakers.
Why?
You need to stop your hate.
Why you a firm believer?
Because first off, it gives a different story now.
What story, bro?
Now
the Lakers are a better team.
Now you have four finals wins, 4 finals MVPs. Now you have an in-season tournament championship.
What?
That is something new. So it creates a different story now for LeBron. He would be one of the first winners of the in-season tournament.
A meaningless accolade.
That's not. No,
that's a meaningless accolade. That means nothing, please, bro. They just did that now. Adam Silver just did that now. They ain't never done that nonsense before.
Right.
Get out of here. That's nonsense.
So you're saying that LeBron James on the way out, they want to give him.
Yes, they want to give him as much accolades and stats as they possibly can.
Win. Now, granted, I will argue that call that I saw that timeout thing, that was ridiculous, because the ball was free from anybody's possession. So I'll give you that, but you still have to play the game. Come on. You still have to play the game.
Meaningless stat, bro. It's a meaningless stat. They're trying to fill him up with as much stats before he retires. That's all.
No. That's not a stat. That's an achievement.
That's an accolade, but it's meaningless, dog. You don't make a tournament that after a couple weeks the season just started. You let the teams gel. You let them board. Play good up into the All-Star break. Then you can start seeing what teams are projecting to. Who's gelling? How are they fitting into the systems, all that. Then after the All-Star break, you can see everything start to, come to fruition and start to manifest with the chemistry and things of that nature leading into the playoffs. Then by the time it's going to the playoffs, you're looking at the top 8 teams and you see who the contenders are. That's how the season has been going for decades. Now they're gonna make an in-season tournament and make a meaningless championship to give LeBron an extra stat.
I'm happy that you're not the commissioner because it does make you play for something.
Nonsense.
This is where one game elimination. True indeed, it wasn't a legal timeout, Papa Vern. It wasn't a legal timeout. Listen, one game elimination, you play for it all. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at. First off, I like the courts. I like the floors of the courts. The way they.
Oh, I don't. I like it the real original way.
No, they go back to the. They just do that for the in-season tournament.
For this in-season tournament thing.
What I'm saying is that you have something to play for. It's a one-game elimination too. It's not where the best of 7 where you know what I mean. Anything can happen. Well, not anything, but at least in a one-game elimination, hey,
what?
Whomever's better that day.
So what does that mean?
You're playing for something. I like you playing for something early on.
What's it called? What is it?
The in-season tournament.
The in-season tournament championship. Yeah. Okay, the in-season tournament.
So that's not the finals championship, but it's the in-season.
Oh, it definitely ain't. We know that.
What?
It's an in-season championship tournament.
I'm not mad at $500,000 to each player and staff member.
So this happens. How many times in the season does this happen?
Huh?
How many times in the season does this happen?
In the season, does that?
Yeah.
Once. Early in the season.
So that's it.
Every year, hopefully coming up, it should be each season. Exactly. College bowl tournament and supposedly Papa Vern. They wanted to do something like soccer, supposedly. That's what Adam Silver had said last year when he was mentioning it. It's like how soccer has, I think, like 2 things throughout the year where you can play for it. So I at first I was like, oh, why are you doing too much against the game? But now I'm okay with it. And no, not because Braun has the possibility of winning. I'm okay with it because it gives other teams that $500,000 is more incentive. You winning for the players that's on a 2-way contract. You winning for mad different people. Yeah.
I always
Thank
let
you,
them
Papa
get into
Vern.
it when it's ball because these two go at it crazy. I mean, I understand both sides, but maybe years from now, the tournament might hold some significance if it becomes like an NBA staple. But as it is, like right now for this year, I would call it meaningless. I would look at it as meaningless.
I can respect that.
I think the reputation and its seriousness has to be built, and maybe if over time it becomes something like it'll become respectable to be the tournament champion ever. But as it is right now, it's something recreational. It holds no weight right now. I think the respect for it has to be built.
I can respect your argument. You are unbiased. You understand what I'm saying? He's just being.
He don't follow, but he just said though. He just said, but
no, he's saying, all right, because I believe that this is going to be ongoing for. I think it's going to be a part of the whole NBA.
Yeah, but if you ask me that same question about football, I would have his response because I don't know enough about football to go in and debate. My brother knows more about football and specifics like that. Me, I'm more basketball, so I'm more expressive. It's not biased. I'm more expressive. I know more about stats and stuff like that. Don't do that.
If somebody else
I can respect your opinion. Don't do that.
You know
Cut that out, bro. You know nonsense.
You and I both know Manny. Thank you, Papa. You and I both know Manny. This is what he does. And AD know this too. If somebody else would have been in the finals, he would have said, "Yo, what's up with your boy Braun? Why couldn't he at least gotten them into the in-season tournament?"
No, I wouldn't have said that. I wouldn't have said that. Don't do that. Don't do that. I don't rock with stuff like that. Don't do that. Now you're reaching because I don't do that.
Why can't they?
I would have never supported that. You know that. No,
it's a 1-game elimination. They couldn't have won that.
I wouldn't have said that.
Like, yo,
I would have never said that because I would have never supported an in-season tournament to begin with, whether LeBron is in it or not. That's nonsense.
If he would have gotten injured around this time or something like that, he would have been
nonsense.
Like, oh, a fake injury around the time of a possible.
Oh, now he's just making up scenarios now. Ain't nothing. He's just making up scenarios now. Now he's making up scenarios now.
Here we go.
If I call it that, you making up scenarios now.
No, sir. Hey, listen, I'm not mad at you.
Give me a scenario where
you were heartbroken with LeBron in Cleveland and he left
on an injury,
and you haven't been the same. Yeah, when LeBron has an injury. Oh, now he got some sort of injury.
Okay. You know what he's talking about? He's talking about the injury when he said when LeBron in 2018 finals when he punched the clipboard and said he broke his hand at the end of the finals after they got swept. And I said, bro, you kidding me? How you got a broken hand and you played 3 games after you punched the board and you was dunking the ball and all of that?
Oh, I agree with you there.
So now you agree with me.
When he get injured now, so he like, yo, he's injured. The most healthiest player ever in the NBA got injured.
Give an example when I've said that and it hasn't been justified, though. My criticism. This example I gave, it was justified to criticize him on that. They didn't make the
playoffs when he was in the Lakers. I said by the time he came back, they had already kind of diminished to what they were.
Who, when they got swept last year?
Thank you, Big Rich.
What's going on, Rich?
I was expecting you to be here because you know what I mean. Even Rich said that he believes that the Lakers will win because we told him we said it's most likely that's gonna happen.
That's why it was created for your boy.
How long does the tournament run?
Oh, it runs from like mid-November to tonight's the chip. Yeah, okay. You know what I mean? So we should all go somewhere.
The chip.
Yeah. Well, what you want to call it? The ending, the finale of the season tournament. The rest.
Now the Clippers been playing better though.
Oh no!
They've been playing better
last night, right?
Yeah, they've been playing better. They've been playing better.
When Kawhi, first off,
when he's healthy
I'm not cool with them sending Westbrook to the bench, but like you said, it's about gelling.
Yeah.
So when you gel, I know you weren't going to send Harden to the bench because the money that he made. I agree.
You should. I don't know how you got him.
Russell Westbrook found a home like with the Clippers. Like it was.
Great player,
he
man.
knew, huh?
One of the greatest point guards ever. He was a good player.
So Papa Vern said in one of those messages that they took the All-Star game back to the original format. I didn't. So that Papa Vern is that for this year and they're looking to go forward with that.
Oh, that's good. I didn't know that.
So they're doing East-West again.
That's good.
No, that's right.
Wasn't they doing it? Oh yeah,
remember,
East and West. Yeah, they were doing
teams.
Team LeBron. Oh yeah, I hated that. Good, go back. All right, Adam Silver. Good. I hated that anyway. I hated that. That was annoying.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, you didn't grow up. We grew up watching basketball. You didn't see that. You saw East and West. Yeah. I even like when guys wore their own jerseys on the court.
The only problem with that though, because at one point they had the East jersey, the West jersey, and then like you said, I liked it kind of when they let them rep their own teams and stuff like that. However, what I will say is, as you know, a lot of times one conference was more lopsided than the other. Do I like the original format of East-West? Yes,
that's true.
But
it was more lopsided.
But most times, either the East might have been the better conference at the time. West might have been the better conference at the time. So when you do it like this, it kind of gives a little bit of ability to.
Oh well, you know what that is now. You know,
there you go.
While it was lopsided, you know this. It was never lopsided before. Everything got lopsided after after guys started making super teams everywhere.
Oh, going forward based on fan vote. No, that's not. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? The West was better in the early 2000s, and there were no crazy super teams that I knew of in that time.
Well, the West always had.
That's what I'm trying to say. So it had nothing to do with that.
The West always had more talent.
Don't try to manipulate people's minds into believing that. Listen, knock it off, man. Because if you want to be honest, probably since the beginning of time, there have been super teams. As you said,
we're not going to do that. No, we're not going to do that.
There were like 8.
We're not going to do that.
He said that there were 8 Hall of Famers on the Boston Celtics. That's what he said. He said that there were like 8 Hall of Famers on the Boston Celtics. Yeah. Right?
According to
so then that's probably a super team then.
I mean, it depends on what you're Hall of Famer for.
But you know what? What happened is there came a time in the NBA where a lot of the, I would say, players that were really incredible coming out of college, the West Coast had the money to really get those guys on the team and do what they needed to do, and the East Coast really wasn't focusing on that. But the point is this: no matter what year was the All-Star game was, up until like the late 90s, early 2000s, there was always a level of competition where you was like, oh, these games are going to be crazy.
Yes.
Regardless. Yes. You know, and that we've lost sight of that because we went back into not the focus of an all-around player, but these individual players with these certain talents. And now the All-Star game isn't what it used to be. Now, if they're going back to the East-West, that's a start.
True indeed.
That's a start. And now we could sit back in our chairs and say, okay, I'm waiting to see what's going to happen, because any given day, you don't know which team is going to win, whether it's the West Coast or the East Coast, because of the caliber of players that was on each team.
Yeah. However, do you believe that with the rise of, in order to go global and create more of a fan base, casual fans, they only know about scoring. So that just like how, like he said, the league has been watered down with the scoring and stuff like that. So when it comes to All-Star games, first off, they don't want them playing hard or playing defense like they did in the 80s and 90s, because I don't know. I think you need to put some sort of incentive into it,
Well, again, this goes back to the wimpy players that play today. They break a fingernail, they're going out for 6 months. You know what I mean? Okay. When I was coming up, and I hate to keep saying this, but dudes was playing with injuries, real serious injuries. Okay, All-Star game came around. They got injured. Guess what? When that All-Star game was over, that All-Star time period break was over, they went back to their teams and they played regardless.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So again, we have to, if we want the NBA to have the formidable fan base that it had and not always base it on scoring, then we have to teach the people truly what the skill set of basketball is really about. Right? A winning team with a great defense is never going to be defeated, right? But people don't realize that. They thinking that because somebody can score, that's where the winning team is.
Well, the whole dynamics have changed also, yeah. And it's not no funny business. It's not an inside-outside game anymore. So it's more about, all right, you got some threes? Hey, take the threes.
That's all it is. They just chuck up threes.
I'm a firm believer. If you have an open shot, shoot it.
Yes, but every shot is an open shot now. It's positionless basketball. There's no centers, power forwards, small forwards, two guard, point guard.
Right.
It's just everybody's chucking up threes, bro.
Right.
Centers are playing like point guards now.
But you know what that comes from? That's what the higher ups say to do. Like, don't get me wrong. So they base their game based upon what the higher ups are looking at what sells and what generates what. You understand? It's still a business. It's entertainment.
Yeah, that's all.
Surely, absolutely. What I'm saying is, like how they just did with this in-season tournament. Let's say I don't know how it goes from this point on, but maybe $50,000 to whichever conference per player and the staff and the coaches and stuff like that per for the winning side. Maybe that might entice them to play harder in the All-Star game or whatever. I don't know if they get money already, but maybe you could do a little something extra, just like how they doing in the in-season tournament.
Well, let me ask you this question: would you agree that most teams' concept of what they're going to do out there on the court comes from the level of coaching that they have?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so if the coaches understand what the basketball skill set is truly about, why would they even listen to management about what they want?
Oh, because it's a money play.
But see, that's my point. See, everything can't be about money anymore. You gotta love what you do, or you doing it just to make money. Right. Like, let me give you a perfect example.
The owners are doing it to make money. James Dolan, he's doing it to make money.
But you're not winning no championships.
Huh?
If you win the championships, then I could see you doing it for the money. But you're not winning no championships. So then it goes back to the skill set, because not every team is going to win a championship. It boils down to two teams at the end of the season, right?
Agreed.
And the best team is going to win that championship. So the other teams must say to themselves, you know what? We can't always think about that money set. We got to think about the skill, because the skill is going to outweigh everything. If everybody got a great game, if everybody's an all-around player, then nobody's going to be able to touch us.
I'm being honest
with you.
Then
you'll draw the money in.
Right. That's what you would think.
Exactly.
All right. See, George Steinbrenner in baseball, he thought from that standpoint, $500,000 per player in the tournament. Yes, $500,000 per player in the tournament. That's why the in-season tournament like that is doing that.
Well, that's dumb. Why don't they just give them a bonus check?
For whom? For what? For
all the people who wants to play in the tournament. Just give them a bonus check. Forget about that.
No, you got to win. Like you said, you got to win. That's the purpose.
Or if they win, they get the $500,000.
Yes, and I think the staff members.
That's no incentive still.
Huh?
That's no incentive still, because now people are going to cut each other's throats. Right?
But that's what you said. You want competitive play.
Right. But it's not competitive.
What do you mean?
It's not competitive when they say, okay, only the people that win is going to get the extra $500,000. So I'm gonna give you a perfect example. Let's say LeBron was out there sleeping with little girls, and the team knew it. And now this tournament comes up, and somebody leaks it to the media. You think he's going to play well in that tournament?
Maybe not. But
maybe not. Come on, let's be honest, man.
All right. Well, probably not. But in the NBA, they have a way of making sure that certain things won't get out regardless. But if we're going by what you say, yeah, of course. But what things aren't cutthroat? You understand what I'm saying?
Read that. Please read that.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we are already told.
Hey, come on. I just need you to read it, bro. Please read it. Please. You want me to read it or you going to read it?
Yo, you go ahead and read it. Because I'm laughing now.
As per Little Rich, right? This in-season tournament is for LeBron because they realize that he's never, ever going to get another chip. Thank you, bro. Thank you.
You know what's funny? Because we were having that discussion with him, and I told him. He said, "Yo, what you think?" I said, "It's gonna go there." But to answer your question, because I know we got to go soon. To answer your question, what you said about because actually a lot of these owners, believe it or not, some of them there aren't that many. What's his name? The one that just sold his majority rights, but he still got Mark Cuban.
Mark Cuban.
They said he was a legitimate fan of basketball before he bought the majority stake in the Dallas Mavericks. Some of these guys just look at it as, oh, it's a business deal. Oh, I can do this or what. Some of them don't care enough. So they just like, oh, money. Okay.
I get them trying to make the money.
So that's why the coach has to listen to the GM or the owner and what they're telling them. So like that. Do you know how many coaches probably would want players off of a specific team because they don't listen? They have too much of an ego. They have so much attitude. They think that they shouldn't be coached in a certain manner. They know they might know better than this coach or whatever.
I'm just saying the game, the way it's played now, it's losing viewership and its fan base is dwindling.
Not enough. Because there's still going to be more casual fans that come in.
There's going to be casual, but I'm just saying overall the numbers have dwindled. The viewership has went down.
Have you stopped watching?
I don't watch it I watch, but it's not the level of competition. It's not competitive anymore. You can't play defense. You know, they just looked about the average score per game now is like 110 or something like that. We having scores now 125, 130, 140. These are almost like all-star scores. The game is not predicated on defense anymore the way it used to be. Guys are just chucking up threes. You can't touch anybody. It's not the same. That video at Central, they was even arguing the video if they would consider bringing back hand check to make it more competitive. This is ridiculous.
I won't go that far.
I would bring hand check back.
Why not?
No clotheslining. I'm not talking about no Detroit Pistons 1980s not Jordan rule stuff. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about good old fashioned hand check, little rough defense. Yes, bring that back. I'm not talking about hurting nobody and nothing like that. But bring hand check back.
Hey, Verge, you know why Podman say that? Game. You know why Podman said that? Because when he used to play ball, somebody hand checked him and threw his whole game off.
Yo, you gotta play with it.
Like you said, OG, in that era that we came up in, that was natural.
That's what you do. You move the hand. You get that ball. You move the hand.
It. But what I will say though is that in our era, and this is why Michael Jordan really flourished. Let's be real about it. So did other players at the Sun, because I sent him the reel where Jason Williams broke it down. White Chocolate broke it down, and I've been telling him this for.
You sent me one video, okay?
No, but what I'm saying is,
I've been sending you numbers. No, yes, don't do that.
But hold on, let's be real. At that time, and you know this, OG. All right, they had hand checking because it was mano y mano. I have to guard you one-on-one. The only way I can get help is if Manny commits to the double team and helps me out and leaves his man completely open. Everybody has to stay as a magnet within a certain space to their man. Nowadays, even though you can't hand check, I can have Manny shade my man with me, and he's still within distance of his man to where he can run back to his man. We can shut you down. We can stop you from driving at an easier rate before you could.
But hold up.
You can't touch the man.
Zone and man-to-man has always been a part of the game. So it doesn't matter, okay? But that hand check made a difference. It made a big difference.
Right. But what I'm saying,
and it gave you opportunity to really strip somebody if you could time their dribble patterns.
True
you know
indeed.
what I mean? So again, the game and the skill set has fallen off. Okay, it's like a waterfall came and whitewashed it, and all we see is a bunch of people throwing the ball up, hoping they can hit their threes.
Right, true. And here's what I'll say: in the NBA, I don't recall how long zone was implemented, because in the 80s and 90s, I didn't really see any variation of it. what they did do was that's why the Pistons were able to bring in those rules, because that's the only time that you could commit and you could do that is when by the time somebody hits the paint, okay, now we could collapse on them. What I'm saying is now in this day and age, it doesn't necessarily have to be a zone. It could be whatever. We can just stand here. If you did that in the 80s and 90s, that's automatically illegal defense. I can stand in a specific area and just be waiting for you to make a move because you're the best player on that team. So we're gonna do this. I'm gonna stand here and make sure I block off this side to make it rough for you to score. To make it rough for you, if you're a main guy who drives and stuff like that, that's why nowadays they may not have the hand check. And like we said, it's to lower the possible injuries. Thank you, Mom. We appreciate that. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. You know, I know we held out pretty long, but I'm just explaining that that's basically what it is.
No, I get what you're saying.
I don't think hand checking needs to come back, but I'm not against it either.
See, but I think the difference was illegal defense back then. You couldn't double team like that because you could hand check and impose your defensive will. Now
that's what I'm saying.
You can screen and double team, but you can't touch the man.
But that's why. That's what I'm
that's not why. That's not why. Because
guys
want
more scoring.
You could double team a man back in the days. You could put up screens. You could put up blocks. There was roll-offs. There was plays. Everything complemented everything back in those days. I don't know what the hell they thinking about these days. But basketball is so boring.
Back then.
No, but you had to be within your man. See, now you're right.
No, you did not.
No, not
no, you did not.
You could
no, you did not.
Centers could sit under the rim
right.
and wait for you to come down and lay you out.
That's right.
I don't recall that.
Yeah.
Because if your man isn't around,
go back to the 70s and watch.
So then, how did they call illegal defense?
Go back to the 60s, 70s, the 50s, and watch the game.
Defensive 3 second now.
Now, but what I'm saying in the 80s, you could the centers could wait under the paint and not move.
I will have to double check that. I don't recall. Maybe
this is why when you came in, they would lay you out.
Maybe
they could wait. Centers could wait under the paint. They changed that.
That's even worse.
That's
That's cheesy.
Let me tell you something, man.
Cheesy.
The centers. Hold up. Back in the days, the centers. Right, was the man on the team.
On the team,
you was not coming down that middle, thinking that you was just gonna get an easy shot.
Oh no! I'm not against that. I'm saying though, but you should be somewhere in the vicinity of where your man is, and then you slide your feet over, and you still protect that paint. That's what
it made the scorer though. It made him work on the game.
3 second rule in paint compromises defense. Well, see, because y'all like the big man to just be able to stand there and be like,
make it competitive, bro.
No. Hold on.
If you get to that rim, earn it.
But you got to earn to be able to get into the paint. Yo, you just have to do a count within your head. 1, 2, get out, go back in. It shouldn't just be he could just stand there.
Why can't he? He's the rim protector. He's the center. That's his
guard
position.
Your man.
No, that's that positionless basketball type of stuff.
The key was to keep moving. You had to keep moving.
Yes.
You could have stood in that area, but as long as you was moving, the 3 second wasn't counted on you.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. As long as you're moving.
But you can
nowadays there's a defensive 3 second. So even it's similar to the same thing. You can't just stand in the paint. Now, if the offensive player is in the paint and you're right there, they're gonna call the offensive 3 second before they will call it because you're guarding your man. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying I get what you're saying because they still allow that in college because they allow zone. So you could just stand and you could just be in the paint and just wait on your time. Like so basically you're not doing much of anything until somebody comes.
Until somebody tries to
Yo,
go to the
listen.
Rim protector.
Hey, I need you to read this.
That's a rim protector.
Well, I can't say much. I'm a Sacramento Kings fan, but
that's a rim protector. What's the definition of a rim protector? The man that stands and protects the rim from guys coming to the
when they get there, you don't just stand there the whole time. Do your job, guard your man. Make sure your head is on a swivel too. You making sure, and then you might extend out to here. Might extend out to here.
But your goal is to protect the rim, not extend out too far.
You shouldn't just have free range to just stand there and just play. Oh well, I'll
You're
eat a
not
sandwich
You're
while
moving
I'm
around, but
chilling.
you're protecting the rim.
I'm cool with that. So, but what I'm saying is, you shouldn't be able to stay in the paint. For that, if your man is out like by the elbow extended, he's outside of the paint. I don't think you should be able to
I'm
do
not
that.
at that period. But see, this is the thing. It goes back to positionless basketball because centers are not supposed to be out there by the perimeter.
They're athletic enough. Why not?
No.
If they're men, first off,
Supposed to be in that paint.
no. But what I'm saying is, Rick Smith would still be. He would still be like extended out, like
A little bit because he was he could jump
Rick
shoot.
Smith,
Or like
exactly.
Hakeem,
Rick
I get
Smith
that,
as
but
well.
not the perimeter.
Rick Smith, Luke Longley a little bit.
Don't you even mention Luke Longley in the same sentence?
I said,
are you on drugs?
All I'm saying is
Did
that
you
he would
say
hit a
Luke
baseline
Longley?
jumper here or there.
Well, Luke Longley didn't hit no baseline jumper. Luke Longley was trash.
He would hit a baseline.
Stop it! I don't believe he just did that. He put Luke Longley, Rick Smith in the same sentence.
I was just saying about the ability to hit a baseline jumper. In the 80s and 90s, the big man was the key. Everything went through the big. We agree there. Absolutely. What I'm saying is you should not have free reign to just stand in the paint. Like you said, now, if you're moving around and you doing, surely, if your man is over there, I believe as long as you're in arm's distance, 1 foot could be in the paint. I'm cool with that. That's still keeping you honest. That's what I'm arguing.
You have defensive 3-second
now,
and you have no hand check.
Okay, you don't need hand check. You don't know you
can't
not.
touch
No,
guys,
you're not, man.
bro.
How many times is Gobert still up in the paint most of the time?
Guys are walking to the rim. They go like this. They put their hands up and they follow them with their body like that's going to stop
That's
them.
the refs calling everything. That's the difference.
That's not defense, bro. If you're going penetrating and you're going like this, follow me with you're not stopping me.
I said that's the refs calling everything. And it's sad.
Come on.
And that's
nonsense,
sad.
Bro.
And the reason why it's sad is because it trickles down into regular leagues. Like even when I'm playing defense, sometimes I'm like,
this game is marshmallow.
They be trying to call it like it's the NBA.
NBA is marshmallow.
You got the offensive players going like this, hey, and you're like,
it's a candy league out here.
Come on, man.
You couldn't
no disrespect. This is the NBA. What type of fan base are you trying to build here on a regular rec league game?
Let me ask you a question. When you were playing back in the days, man, were you taught how to take a charge?
Yes.
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't.
Yes.
When I played, I didn't really get into like tournament.
Oh, you weren't a defensive player. Just say you weren't a defensive player. That's
Not
all.
until later.
We get that.
Right, but what I'm saying is when I
get that. But there was a level of defense. There was a basic. There was a basic level of defense that you had to have to play on any team or any tournament. Period. Each one teach one. Gauchos.
Absolutely.
You name it. Rucker tournaments. All Kings Towers. You name it, bro. You had to be able to play D because these guys knew how to shoot. They had a skill set. They could have moves. They know how to spin on you. They know how to bounce the ball in front of you and make it come back. All of that. So you needed to know what defense was truly about. What they got going on in the NBA to now is trash, is garbage, and that's why I don't condone it or watch it.
Defense is really mindset. You never see guys playing it.
You have to move your feet because even OG. Even all the years, 80s, 90s, 70s, all of that. Even if you're able to handshake, they'll tell you most of the time you play with your feet, not your hands.
No, yeah.
So at the end of the day, it's not that it's trash. I will say, I think this is where we're getting confused at. I think that the calls, the excessive calling is more so trash than anything.
The calling is based upon because how the game is played. They changed the rules.
Well, but that's not.
But that's not the refs' fault. They changed the rules.
They changed the rules.
So if you're a referee, you gotta go by the guidelines of the.
It's not their fault. The defensive players are still trying to be defensive.
But you can't because the rules say you can't touch the offensive player.
No. But they can. But that's what I'm saying. Kawhi still plays defense. Well, not to the same extent with his knee injury. But what I'm saying is. You're right. Obviously, if
Kawhi could play, I'm gonna tell you this right now. If Kawhi could do hand check,
but you don't.
It'll be over. We'd be shutting people down.
He would be
shutting people down.
Did you see what he did to Steph Curry? That last a couple games ago when he was on him and he locked him up and he couldn't get it off. If you let that boy do hand check,
but that's my point. You don't need to.
You do need hand.
Oh, God.
The only reason why he was able to neutralize Curry like that is because Curry is shorter. See, if somebody of the same stature as
I've
Kawhi
seen
is
him
not going.
neutralize people his size.
Yeah, but I'm talking about on elite skill level, it's going to be tough because you can't touch
But
him.
it's not supposed to be easy neither.
It's not for
So
the
that-
scorer either.
and-
So
okay.
make it harder for the defender and easier for the scorer. That's not a balance.
No. Listen. So how about we do this? If y'all want, let's go back to man. Not as many calls, but you don't need the hand check. Let's see how that works too.
Go back to what?
No. Here's what you're not
There you
understanding. Okay, each time you came up against your opponent, the coaches decide what type of play was going on for that game. Whether it's going to a straight zone or man-to-man, or whether they're going to switch up, do some zones, some man. That's why plays were created. Because you knew that you had certain type of players that were good at certain things, and you had to know how to shut them down. It's like playing chess. You don't change the rules of chess because you want the scorer to always or you want the knight to always be the formidable one that's getting all the points. Nah, you play the chess game as it's set. All this changing and taking out things, and you can't hand check. The charge is different. It's dumb.
So let me
It's
ask you
dumb.
this.
Without any defense, playing basketball ain't even worth it.
So all right, even though this is a little different, what you saying about these new rules? So you don't like them being able to review a call that was made by a ref that could have been
You missing my point. They've always been able to review calls. They've always stopped the game to have a power on the side. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about taking the basics of what basketball is truly about and changing those guidelines and rules so that the scorer is the formidable person on the court, getting all the accolades. It's not right.
That's not right.
So you believe that back in the 80s and 90s, it was more even. You don't believe that it still favored the scorer to some degree, or if they did, it wasn't. At least the scoring wasn't out of proportion as it is now. You believe
my thing is this: the defense and the offense was equally balanced.
Okay.
That's simple.
I mean,
is that simple?
Yeah, you still had outstanding scorers, but okay,
I'm not saying you didn't.
Yeah,
I'm not saying you did, but they had to work for it.
But they had to work for it.
They had to work for it.
Yeah,
it wasn't a given.
Yes.
They couldn't just get to a certain point knowing that all this dude gonna do is put up his hands so I can shoot when I get ready. You had to work for it.
Yeah. I mean, if y'all thinking that these players don't work, it's not the same degree. I give you that.
You play ball. Come on, man. You know it's not the same degree. They don't work for
it's not the same degree.
No way near.
If that were the case, the field goal percentage of all right. Don't get me wrong. Some of these players now they do have better field goal percentages, but they're still playing on like James Harden. Even when he was scoring tons of, he was just a guy that just put up a lot of shots and he got to the free throw line a lot. You know what I mean? All sports are watered down now. Football as well. Mean Joe Green, LT player like that couldn't play these days.
I agree.
Now here's what I will say. In regards to football, I'm okay with them lightening the load a little bit. I don't want too many CTE
where I will
victims
say
here.
it was different with football. A lot of times the rules have to change because they have to save guys from themselves.
Yeah.
What I mean is
these guys were reckless out there.
In football, they don't care about killing each other. Whereas with basketball, it seemed like they're making the rules softer. But these guys, it's different. It's a little different.
Football,
but
I mean,
I will agree to some degree. When it comes to the quarterback, I think they did make the rules a little bit too soft now for quarterbacks.
Yeah.
But overall, a lot of it is more concussion focused.
Yeah. If we keep.
But definitely the quarterbacks is a little soft now. They
I agree. There was
can't
some
even
things they
touch
did
the
for Tom
quarterback
Brady.
now.
There was some things they did for Tom Brady. Here's what I will say also. If you kept up the NFL the way it was back in the day, a lot of Joe Theismann injuries would still occur to this day. They damn near took his leg apart, man.
That was a good point that AD made though about the basketball and what we were trying to say about it's not balanced. It's not balanced.
We know why though.
Defense and you had offense. You had to work on defense to stop the top scorers, and if you was a scorer, you had to work on offense to score on the top defenders. It was a balance.
Absolutely.
Now it's lopsided.
Right.
It favors the
Right.
scorer. It's not where the scorer has to work to score, to perform on real good defense. And the defender has to play against real good offense. The defender is not allowed to play defense.
Here's
The
what
scorers allow free reign.
I will say that AD Big Al makes a great point in regards to the fact that certain skill sets are offered, because you're right. Like, let's say if there's somebody guarding James Harden, you understand what I'm saying, in this day and age. Okay. Yeah, James Harden at one point was getting tons of calls and stuff like that. But if they're gonna they can now put Harden on a player who's maybe not so offensively inclined. So it's like you said, now you're not making Harden necessarily work as hard on defense as he's working on offense. So like he said, back in the day, to some degree, you still had some players that weren't offensively inclined, but there might have been times where even though Scotty might have guarded the best player on the team, sometimes Mike took that assignment as well, and or even the second guy that was good scoring, Mike had to guard him. So he still had to work to some degree. So the like he said, equally balanced. There was still a chance that Mike might get a few calls on him, although he had the refs in his pocket. But that's another story. But the point is that I do agree that the balance is obviously off. But like I said, that's because they want more viewership. They want more people globally and stuff like that. And let's be honest, when the playoffs come and you go to these bars and stuff like that, some of these people are mad casual fans that they weren't even fans of these teams years ago, but now that they're winning and stuff like that, they're just cheering buckets. Oh yeah. They don't know a pin down screen and certain things and how important a crucial a pick or a box out is to the nature of the game. Some of them are unaware.
Let me share something with you. In 1979, I had a chance to play in this tournament upstate, and I played against Sam Perkins in this tournament. Now, the game before that, I had 25 points. I had like about 15 rebounds and like 5 or 6 assists. Mm-hmm. My stats was crazy.
All right, AD.
Right? So the next game comes. We won. As a matter of fact, we won that first game. Mm-hmm. Next game come around. The coach talked to me about this dude. Look, the dude that's going to be guarding you, his name is Sam Perkins. This kid is crazy. His defense is crazy. He's a big guy. He could jump. He could block. I got the rundown. My problem and my confidence, I went out there with the same offensive game, right? The first shot that I threw up, he threw that shot into the bleachers, right? Yeah. I was so frustrated that whole game, right? I only scored 1 point that day.
Got you.
And we lost bad. Because I'm thinking that I can go out there with that same offensive skill set that I usually use and do the same thing with this guy who is a great defender, right? And the only reason why I got the 1 point is because when I went to do the layup, I switched up and the back of his hand hit the back of my neck.
Got you. And you got
right? So I got a foul. I was able to, and even that, I didn't make both of the foul shots. Right? So that goes to say that when you got great defense players, I don't care how skilled you are with your offensive, if you don't plan and train for that, guess what? Your game's going to be different. And that's what the NBA is missing now.
I'm a firm believer in adaptation, but you got to remember these guys train and practice fairly consistently, not necessarily daily because they're traveling a certain time, but they remember they have film sessions, so they are getting taught to who to train against, how this guy is defensively, how this guy is offensively. So yes, adaptation is one of the major parts in just survival, period. So when you're in any sport, you're playing to survive. So you have to, if you're in football, if you're a wide receiver, you have to play this cornerback differently than this one. Like when Darrelle Revis matched up against certain wide receivers, they knew that Darrelle Revis is going to get away with certain hands and certain stuff like that.
Forget you, little Rich.
You understand what I'm saying? So yes, you have to adapt. What happened was, like you said, your ego got the best of you.
But the point is that they watered down the defensive spectrum of the game so
Surely.
bad that you don't even have to try to change up or plan to play a different type of game set when you're coming up against certain players anymore.
Oh, certain players, yeah. You go up against Kawhi or Paul George or Kawhi in his prime without so many injuries, different story.
Well, that's why I said certain players.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm not saying all around,
Absolutely.
but just some people who are good at defense, ain't nothing that you could change in the game that's going to change that.
But also what really messes this up
What's
is the difference of how they do things from the regular season to the playoffs. Now, granted, as we just said, adaptation. James Harden, there's no excuse. He goes into the playoffs the same way as the season. It shows itself every year. Like you're expecting more calls, you're expecting to get the same amount of calls, stuff like that. No. A lot of times they say, all right, this is the playoffs. We're gonna let y'all play a little bit harder now. We change up your game, use your floater more, do different things, utilize your step back over more. You're not gonna get the same calls that if you think that you're gonna base your point production in the playoffs the same as the season. It's not happening. They show you this every year. So I will say that part I don't like only because now you're favoring the playoffs a little bit more than the season, which I get to some degree, but you're throwing people off. But once again, that's up to them to adapt. So in the playoffs, what you're looking for throughout the whole season, you get a little bit more of.
So would you agree that the NBA, the way it's set up now, is unequally yoked?
Oh, surely. Of course. Okay. That's most sports. That's most sports. But see, in football, there's a reason for that. Because you had too many injuries to a point where people were paralyzed the rest of their lives. Absolutely. They had to take a timeout and look at those things. I agree with that.
But basketball was different. You had knee injuries, back injuries, but that comes from playing hard on the court. Yes. You know what I mean? So again, why would you change the defensive level?
Because I can understand you don't want people clotheslining people like they were doing.
But they wasn't getting.
But that's an illegal move. We're gonna get called for that. That's a foul.
Right. But now it's a flagrant. And now it's more, you know what I mean? Now, I don't like some of these new rules with sometimes you accidentally going up and you accidentally hit them in the face with the elbow and they call them a flagrant. I understand why they're doing it because they want you to be more conscious of it, but there are certain things that you can't help.
Absolutely. That's why I
don't like that part, but
players can't talk to each other on the court, be competitive.
Let them compete. Competitiveness.
Let them compete.
Takes away the competitive edge.
Let them go at it.
Certain things that you're saying, though, I don't want you necessarily using profanity and getting out of
those are grown men. Let them play.
I hate when people do that.
Why you hate when people do that?
Because grown isn't an explanation for profanity.
Let me ask a question. Hold up. Can I say this? Can I say this? Bro,
stop.
Can I say this?
Pay some bills and do
but
this.
They all paying bills.
Hey, I'm just saying in general. Go ahead.
Can I say this? You get an opportunity to play Rucker tournament, right? You got all the greats out there, right? You coming down the court with the ball. You mean to tell me Earl Monroe can't talk crap to you? Talking about, oh, you this, you that, you trying to take you out your game?
Oh, no.
He can't call you a punk.
I'm okay with that. That's
he can't say that. He said you dribble like a girl, whatever, using some vulgarities. Come on, man.
It's still up for the refs to police the situation because when something goes wrong, then they start looking. They be like, "Yo, the refs were supposed to do this, supposed to do that." Now, you're right. I'm not saying that you're supposed to get them a tech when they're talking to each other. Absolutely not. As long as it doesn't get to the point where it's looking like there's going to be a physical confrontation.
Obviously, we ain't talking about to that degree.
But it's not about. See. Here's the thing.
We just talk about verbal.
Here's the thing.
But you said they can't use profanity.
Here's the thing. In competition, in competition at any level, there's always another voice that's going to tell that other voice that, yo, I'm better than you.
Yeah.
No, you're not. I'm better than you. And there's nothing wrong with that because it's competitive edge that we all have.
I agree.
And to tell me that I can't have a voice while I'm doing my thing,
I'm not supporting
that. Takes away from the game and the competition.
But the refs are only doing what they're told to.
We're not talking about the refs. We're talking about the people who change the guidelines and the rules of the game altogether. Absolutely. That's what I'm referring to.
They're hurting the game, man. They're hurting it. It's not the same. It's not the same.
I'm
They
good with
hurting it.
trash talk. I'm good. Sir,
Just like when it comes to IXS Radio, everybody know I'm the man up here. And then Rich want to come in and talk about he the owner. Nah,
Right, he's
dude,
supposed
this
to-
is Big Al's shop.
Right, he's supposed to pay the respect. What
Absolutely.
I'm saying is that I'm not for necessarily all of that rough touch in the NBA. If you bring back the hand check, okay, you should be able to deal with that because we came up in it. Even some of the LeBron
I'm
played.
hearing you say this.
LeBron
This is
played-
shocking. This is major,
Well,
bro. I ain't
Let's give him a hand clap. Let's give him a hand clap. Yeah.
Listen.
I never heard you say that before.
I'm saying it's not, in my opinion, it's not necessary. But if you bring it back, bring it back. But like I said, just be aware. You know that they're gonna lose fans.
How?
You know
How?
How? They're gonna gain more fans
from that now.
It's gonna increase the intensity and the
It's
competitiveness.
gonna increase a lot of some of the purists will come back, but I don't think it'll amount to the casual fans that you just get. Like I said, the scoring I think it will change significantly.
Oh, it will.
Even if it's 5-10 points, that's still significantly on an 82 game, you know what I'm saying, season basis. But what I'm saying is that a lot of these casual fans, that's why some people don't watch baseball or soccer. Well, no, people watch soccer, even though they know that that's very difficult to score. But people like scoring. That's another reason why, yes, they did the football like that because of injuries guaranteed. But also, they want to see touchdowns. They want to see the ball in the air. They want to see scoring.
Contact is also entertaining though too. Like real competitive defense. That I don't think they would lose fans from that. I think
Contact is entertaining in the realms of football, other combat sports, because
And
that's the
basketball.
highly expected.
And basketball.
Yeah.
Contact is like in basketball, bro. Of course. You want to see that? Yes. Yes,
You're
do.
gonna see it regardless, but oh yes.
It's that time.
Yes, it's that time. Because we could go on forever.
Yeah, we can do this all day,
This
man.
guy, just know that he's a LeBron hater.
I'm
And
not a LeBron hater.
apologist. I'm not a fan.
Listen. Oh God! You asked my brother who the biggest LeBron fan out here. It's always been me.
That's all. And now you got. Thank you, sis.
Thank you, appreciate y'all,
all
man.
of a sudden, you just hate all around the world.
How, bro? It's criticism.
All around the world.
I just criticize. That's all. Peace and love, people.
Yeah.